Hello and welcome to Trucker's World. As you can see, I am back in uniform, back in the wagon, and of course back on the road as well. So I thought I'd just do this video about infringements, that horrible word that no driver likes to hear. It's just an evil word, isn't it? And I'm going to focus specifically on insufficient rest. Now this is just basic stuff. I'm not going to go into obviously extended hours when you're tramping, all that kind of stuff. This is simply about more or less your breaks, your 15-30 minute breaks, 45-minute breaks. That's all it is really. I'm just going to tell you one or two pitfalls that I've fallen into, and just give you some tips as well on how to avoid those going forward, because it really is, it's really easy to fall into them. It really is. And if you do get infringements, don't worry too much. As long as you're not doing it every single week and they're only minor, it's nothing really to worry about for new drivers who are on the road. Okay, so first of all, I will tell you about the one I had. Brand new wagon, DAF wagon, and the thing is, you put the key in, every time you took the key out of the ignition, it switched on the tacho to brake automatically. So it was one of those things where you had to keep on remembering when you were getting out the wagon to switch it to other work. Otherwise it was going on brake, and it would then kind of like screw things over. So on this occasion it was getting near 12 o'clock and I needed a 15-minute break, so I took my 15-minute break. I was at a collection point, and what I did, it was just before 12, took the 15 minutes and I switched it to other work on the tacho. All good so far, isn't it? Yep. And then guess what? I took the keys out without even thinking about it, went and did my collection. It automatically switched back to brake. So even though technically I'd taken my 15 minutes strictly before 12, because it switched back to brake immediately, it carried on the brake and it didn't register the 15. It registered something maybe on the lines of 27 minutes. And obviously by that point it had gone past 12 o'clock, the 6-hour mark. So yeah, just something simple as that. Wagon's fault? I'll probably argue yes it was. However, it's really interesting this, because obviously when you're pressing that button to go to other work, it is really important, because this is where the second infringement came from, and these came in the space of 2 weeks. I was really annoyed. So I took a 15-minute break at 12 o'clock, or just before. I started work at 6. Went to do my half an hour, so took my break, half an hour break, everything was all good, and again switched it up there on the tacho to other work, thinking right, it's done now, done my break, switch it to other work. I literally wrote down a couple of more things. My shift was ending after my break, so I wrote down a couple of things, turned off the ignition, ejected the card, done. I thought that was great, no problems there. However, it didn't then register, because I'd taken my card out and I pressed the button to go on other work, and I didn't let it change over to other work properly, which I'll explain in a moment. When I ejected the card, it didn't register the 30-minute break, even though legally, again, I'd had one. Because I'd ejected the card out almost straight away, it didn't register it, even though I pressed the button to switch it over to other work. Okay, so now what I learned was this. Once you take a break, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, quite often, yeah, you can drive away in most wagons and it'll switch off automatically and register that brake. More often than not, that's what happens. With other work though, certainly on these wagons, I'm just making you aware of that, you have to put on, if you do other work, you have to then put on other work for at least 1 minute before it will then register for your break that you've taken. That's how it is. Okay, so remember that, especially if you're near the end of your shift. If you're doing a 30-minute break or 45, whatever it is, you then go to put it on other work, you have to let it register for at least 1 minute, and you can check whether it's registered on the little knob in the middle of your compartment. You can work those. I'll have to make a special video on that, and you can see on your dashboard whether your brakes registered or not, and that's mainly before you exit vehicle and you eject your card. That's the main thing. If you're ejecting your card within, let's say you've had your 30-minute break, you eject your card within a couple of seconds after that, it might not register it. Okay, so just be aware of that. And the only other things really that's gotten me where, you know, you're waiting too long for a 15-minute break. So, for example, if I'm starting at 6, needed one by 15-minute, maybe by 12, and I thought, right, I'll do this. Gets to about maybe 1:45, you're cutting it too fine there. Sometimes it's been 22, I put them a 15-minute break, and someone says, can you please move? We need this space straight away, and you've got 5 minutes left. And if you move it, that's it. You know, you can't take a 15-minute break. So you don't want to be putting yourself in that position if you can. Really make sure it's safe where you're taking a break. You're not going to be moved, and you're going to get it in time for whatever desired time it is. Okay, so those are my tips. Those are my infringements, which I had on a break. Silly, even though I legally took them, it's silly, but that's how easy it can be for it to happen. Okay, right guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you shortly. Thank you again.